Good evening. It is April 10th, and I just finished properly balancing the 5-blade prop. These are 36-inch blades. Well, from the center of the hole to the end is 36. So total diameter of the rotating blade makes a 6-foot wind wall basically. These are total diameter a foot wider than the blades I have on the turbine right now. Went with the red, white, and blue theme. Turbine is white, and it was a pretty simple balance job. I welded a nut on right here on the hub. This was the heavy blade, and what do I got? 5 layers of lead plates on there, and I bolted on, and see, pretty perfect enough for me. Way better than it was before. It would come to a rest and then rock all the way back down with the heavy blade. The tiniest little bit of rock back there, but I can't find it, and I can't figure out which one is the one acting on it, but it's damn close. Again, way better than it was before. Before, that blade would have came all the way back down and settled low. So I'm calling it pretty darn good. This one, before I balanced it, just right out of the box, went over 500 watts on the 800 watt turbine a couple of times. So it performs better than the set on there, than the 3-blade set. Even now that we're up at 35 feet, I still don't see the power that I saw out of this one. And that was unbalanced, to the point where I could feel it at the bottom of the tower wobbling. So it's going to do way better now. But I did have a problem with it wind walling and the little factory tail. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I've upgraded the tail. This was the original. Cut it right off. There was 1-inch pipe running through there. OD, 1-inch outer diameter. And 13 inches total. So since then, right here we've got, this is a 4x2 sheet of 16 gauge. The tail that's up there right now is 2 foot by 1 foot. So this square right here, that's the tail that's up there now. And that does one hell of a lot better. But because I don't want to say OCD, but I want to see maximum results. So I drew out what's going to be the new tail. It'll be an X tail. These will all be 18-inch by 8-inch. These guys right here. It'll be a little bit 9-inch on the top, down to 8-inch on the bottom. Wide, 18-inch tall, and it won't be, exactly 90 on the top and the bottom. It'll be, a little tighter to keep it as tall as possible. But there's got her all marked out. and then I'll weld that to a 1-inch inner diameter sleeve. I couldn't find this unthreaded in anything other than a dam elbow, so is what it is. I've got a couple inches of that. I'll hack that off, and then I'll weld these all to that, just like that. So I'm going to do some cutting and make a big mess and make the basement stink, and maybe some welding. We'll see how much battery power we got left when I'm done cutting, and we'll check back a little bit further down the line. Well, there we go. That is my 4 pieces. A collar for going on the end of the shaft. Scrap. And yes, I realized I could have measured these one at a time and had less waste out of the sheet of steel, but I save all that stuff and I'll turn it into something. I'm not worried about the waste. It won't go to waste. So, again, that's our guy. Those 4. Arranged on that collar like so. Probably 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch apart, so they make a tall X, not a perfectly 90X. So, check back in another couple steps. Well, there it is. And I know this is very reminiscent of a tale that's on another turbine, whose company name is an upgraded tropical storm, and that's all I'll say. And that's an awesome turbine. So, you know, maybe I didn't clean this weld up at all. I just literally got done. I haven't wire brushed anything. I'm going to paint this all. I'm going to clean it up. I haven't deburred any of my cuts. What I did notice is a little wobble, and I don't like that. So I cut a section off of 1/2 of this elbow. What I'm going to do is cut another section off and weld that on the back side also. So I'll hack it right there. Yeah, it looks kind of funny. Anyhow, that should sturdy it up a little bit and take the wobble out of there, because that's the whole reason I'm making another tail. So, but there it is. The angles aren't absolutely perfect, but they're pretty good. I'll be able to do a little bending before I make my final welds here. But I think that should catch a little bit more air and keep the turbine straight. So when this is spinning and creates a wind wall and the air tries to go around, there's still going to be enough that catches it, and this thing's going to stay pointed. If there is air moving, this is going to point the turbine into it, no matter what. So, we'll check back in a little bit. And there it is. It's done. It's ready for flight. I did end up cutting it down a little bit. It was pretty heavy when it was each fin being 18 inches. I cut it down 5 inches on the front side, 4 inches on the back side, so it's a little higher and a little wider on the top back of each fin here. But it is nice and true. Deburred it all, give it a quick sand with some 400, and put 2 coats of Rust-Oleum on it, and there it is. So I should be able to hack my old tail off, slide this on, and I'll run 2 bolts through there, and then I'll paint that so it doesn't rust. But I've had people mention, the need for a furling mechanism to point it out of the wind to prevent overspinning. I'm not at all worried about overspinning. I'm more worried about the shortage of wind I have here. I'm very low altitude, and I have a lot of big obstructions, big trees all over the place, so my wind is very turbulent. So that's why I made this, to catch any and all air movement and keep the turbine pointed into it by all means necessary. Hopefully I can finally hit rated power. I know the turbines can do it. It's not a matter of the turbines, it's just my location. I've seen the same turbines in better locations outperform their rated numbers. So there it is. Thanks for watching. Happy Easter.